has been a long, long day. However, thanks to the panelists, the presentations, as well as your very active, vivid participation and support, it has been a long but enjoyable day, and thanks to the coffee breaks as well. So now we will proceed with the very final part of our final conference, which is called section unit, almost a panel, Fostering Collaboration, the BES Cluster Innovates for the Future of Border Control. And after a lot of discussions, not only. We have some of the ones that were able and capable to participate today, either online or physically. So we do have the representatives of some of the members of the BES cluster with us. We have Ricard Munet from I-SEAMORE. We have Giuseppe Vella, who also participated at the very first panel as a commentator from FLEXI-CROSS. We have Chiara Celli from PROMENADE. And of course, we have our very physical partner, hi there, Mirela Gozova from Kemea and NESTOR. So I will call you to participate in the panel and stand up. But before that, I will start with a very brief, as always, presentation regarding this section and regarding the BES cluster. And this is a PDF, which I do not really know how to handle as a full screen, probably like that. So the BES cluster, Border External Security Cluster, was created back in 2020 by the METICOS project. It was initiated by the METICOS project as an idea, as an approach, as a community that we thought it would be a great opportunity to establish, and with the very, very active support of all its members. Other Horizon 2020 projects that have received funding either by the same call or by other calls that could potentially be relevant or have some similarities or relevant partners or relevant approaches or relevant technologies with ours, and in order to promote the interactions between those projects, and as well as between the different stakeholders that each project has and had and has. What have we done? What are we doing? What we will continue to do to support, of course, the communication dissemination activities of each project and of the whole cluster in general, to exchange good practice and methodologies between the members of the cluster, between the different projects, it could be simply deliverable reports, but it could also be a series of workshops and experience and knowledge that has been gained and created via the project activities and implementation of any relevant task and activities again. And of course, explore possibilities to combine pilot activities, explore possibilities to combine the activities in general. This is something that we have also done with NESTOR, I will let you know in a few seconds, and to also explore possibilities for future collaboration, as it was very clearly and correctly pointed before by our project officer. And it's not only proper and correct because it has been stated by the project officer, but it is proper and correct because this is the will of the members, of the participants of this cluster. One small comment. Indeed, projects do complete their activities. However, communities do not. So we have established a community. We are planning together with its members, together with the members of this community, to continue the community, find new members, and somehow expand it as long and as possible as we can, as researchers, as project managers, as projects. Here you can see the members of the BES cluster, and we are more than 20 projects, soon more, 300 partners. We could say that we have a representation in 40 countries, and in total, one could say that we have 45 plus pilots. Now, here you can see the BES cluster paper. What is this? Why am I starting with this? Because it is a paper that we have submitted together with PROMENADE and NESTOR for the RISE-SD conference that took place in Rhodes. And I'm very happy to inform you, the participants, as well as the co-authors, that our paper has been accepted, and it will be published by the end of the year in the Springer book series, Security Informatics and Law Enforcement. which is something for which we are very proud and happy because it was a representation of what we have done so far and what we were willing to do after even that point. And we have received this approval, which is not only approval towards a paper, but an approval towards the overall approach that we are trying and we are willing to follow. Here you can see the parts of this paper, why clustering, and what were the community building steps that have been followed. And again, this is a PDF, so I have to do it like this. In terms of BES cluster activities, I could proceed and list them. And if I have done that, probably we would leave tomorrow. But what I could say now is that at the very, very beginning of the project and at the very beginning of the BES cluster, we were able to combine, let's say, combine pilot activities with Trespass project. So we have participated in the Piraeus port during their pilot activity, and we were able to observe and take some first information and eliminate on the elimination of dependencies based on the types of travelers, their origins, entries, and exit types. So it was the very first pilot that we have participated with, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the very beginning of the project. So we haven't really started with our very own pilots. We have also participated at that old period in the Promenade workshop that took place during December 2021. It had to do with wider support and dissemination by the BES cluster. We have communicated the event to our members, and we have used the channels, with the website, the social media, in order to engage additional users. As I said before, we consider ourselves not simply a cluster, a series of sister projects, brother projects, working together for a very particular purpose, but a community, an actual community where we have a common mailing list, we have exchanged many information, digital reports, as well as invitations to participate in events and papers, with the logic that we want to support each other in order to achieve our mutual goals. We have also organized, which is not even listed here because that would be a long list, our participation and the existence of an actual panel for the BES cluster under the Data for Policy conference that is taking place every single year, and they have a great representation in journals and publications, and we were able to represent the project there as well as to communicate and engage other projects as well. Here you can see another activity which has not been initiated by METICOS, and this is why we have included it. It has been initiated by the NESTOR project, which was the Border Management Standardization Roadmap. We have followed a series of communications, online workshops, exchange of information, exchange of knowledge, and we have worked together with NESTOR leading the whole process, doing an amazing work, and from our point, supporting it as much as that was possible in order to proceed with the formulation of a series of the standardization roadmap and a series of other information, parts, methodologies, and processes under that roadmap. That is probably my cue to give the floor to Mirella, but I will not do that because she's physically attending the final conference, and I think that it would be a much better idea to give the microphone and screen to someone that who participates online, so as to support them and thank them. Too many slides, congrats. So we could start from Promenade. I can give you the floor, screen, and mic. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Hello, good morning. I'm Chiara Celli. I'm the project manager of Remedia Italia, that is an Italian SME that joined the consortium of the Promenade project. If you can go on with the next slide, please. Next one, sorry. Okay, this is just a concise overview of the Promenade project with the main information. So it was an 18 months duration project that ended in March 2023. The consortium was composed by 16 partners from 7 countries, and there were 4 border guards authorities that were involved in the project from Greece, Spain, Lithuania, and France. The services developed within the PROMENADE project were mainly an improved system for the vessel tracking, behavior analysis, and automatic anomaly detection, with the aim to help and increase maritime awareness, improve decision making by the border guard authorities. Also, to speed up the exchange of the information and collaboration between the authorities. If it can go on. So these are the main categories of the service toolkit that was produced within the PROMENADE project. So these are 4 categories of services that are classification services. For example, vessel and detection services, thanks also to the deployment of the Sentinel-1 and SAR images, for example. Another example important for this classification service could be the chance to detect oil spills. The other categories is related to the pattern detection services that mainly had its aim to detect anomalies and pattern deviation of the vessels, for example. In relation to the risk assessment area, we can find services that provide behavioral profiling capabilities for vessels, mainly based on different and historical types of data. Last but not least, of course, there is the category of the future state prediction services. And these services were mainly helpful to predict maneuvering trajectories. Thank you also to the AI technology contribution. Next slide, please. Okay. This is a very concise slide about the results reached throughout the development of the project, or the PROMENADE project. So the main aim of the project was the one to develop an open service-based toolkit by implementing innovative algorithms for artificial intelligence and machine learning applied to maritime surveillance reporting system, databases, and other information sources according to the big data perspective. The development of the service toolkit, thanks to AI and big data technology, was built upon previous H2020 research projects, for example, like Marie's Andromeda Effector, and taking advantage of their results and, of course, enhancing them. Another result was really important is the one to facilitate a fruitful collaboration among cross-border agencies that are operating in the maritime surveillance. What else? For example, thanks to the PROMENADE toolkit, it was possible to shorten the adoption time to innovation technologies by the border guard authorities, demonstrating and validating project developments in 3 operational trials and 1 simulated trial that we'll see later in this presentation. Point 5, of course, is an important matter that is related to the compliance of all the project activities with legal and ethical regulation and norms. Next slide, please. Thank you. The PROMENADE toolkit was integrated with real sensors, data sources, and users' legacy system for the execution of the project operation trials that were realized in the Baltic, Iberian, and Hellenic Sea. Each trial focuses on different part of the project. For example, the Iberian trial had a focus on the drug seizures, while the Hellenic trial had a focus on the smuggling and drug trafficking, while the Baltic trial was focused on seizure of the excise good. It is important to say that and you will see this in the last slide, then in the in the PROMENADE YouTube channel, we have all the video recorded of the trials that were developed during the project. So if you want to deepen the single trial, you can see it in the video channel of YouTube. Next slide, please. Okay, these are some pictures and details that are related to the operational trials that took place in the in Iberia, in Spain, in Greece, and in Lithuania, under the supervision of the border government. Next slide, please. Okay, in relation to the system architecture of the PROMENADE project, the PROMENADE partners developed a toolkit of maritime situation awareness services, adopting a set of technologies that were based on artificial intelligence and big data techniques that were integrated. That integrated a variety of heterogeneous data sources, for example, video streams, camera images, and satellite images. And a very, very important aspect of this project is the interoperability with the end user's legacy system and the CISA environment. Okay, the CISA environment, the toolkit was able to interact with the CISA environment thanks to the development of a CISA adapter that were adopted to transform messages from the CISA domain to the PROMENADE toolkit domain and vice versa. What you see in this graph is the flow, of course, of the messages that went from the CISA node through the CISA adapter until the data lake, thanks to the Kafka user interface. Next slide. Okay, an important fact to highlight is that during the PROMENADE project, we had an important facility that we could exploit for the computing intensive activity, and this was the HPC, so the high performance computing that has been made available from Leonardo. And this was really important to process all the data and the computing intensive phase that was really also a time consuming phase for the AI model development and training. Okay, this is just a very concise overview of the remedial role in the PROMENADE project. As I told before, we were in charge of the leading of the work package dedicated to the communication and dissemination activities. This is just a list of some of the activities that we did. So from the development of the project communication material kit, so brand and visual identity, website graphics, and all the managing of the social media channel. We have also a link to the synergy with BES Cluster video. For us, it was really important to promote the collaboration and the synergy with similar projects for the maritime security, and we produced a video for this. Another tool that we developed was this one. This is the PROMENADE service toolkit, a booklet that were also distributed in some of the events. And here you can find all the links to the social media channels, also to digital publications and video, also the video of the results of the PROMENADE project with interviews to the key opinion leader of the project of the border guard security. And next slide, please. As well, here you can find all the contacts that you need if you want to deepen the PROMENADE project, everything we have developed within the project, and all the contacts in case you need to know more about the project. Thank you for your attention and your time, and thank you for the invitation to the project.
Thank you very much, Chiara, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And all the information that you have shared. And it goes without saying, actually we said that at the very beginning, but that we will share with you all the presentations and all the material and everything that is relevant to our final conference, as well as additional information and additional requests in order to keep this new community vivid and live. Thank you very much. Shall we proceed with I-SEAMORE?
Okay. I can start with the presentation. So next slide, please. Okay, so basically, I-SEAMORE stands for the Integrated Surveillance Ecosystem for European authorities responsible for maritime operations, leveraged by reliable and enhanced area support. So basically, the goal of this consortium, of this project, is to deliver a complete platform capable of managing the operation of multiple assets and systems with advanced maritime surveillance capabilities that can be easily deployed and operated at European maritime operation centers. It is not in the slide, but this is an Horizon Europe project with a duration of 30 months, which started January this year and ends in June 2025, so in total 30 months. And the consortium is formed of 17 partners from 11 countries, and the budget is around 8 million euros. Basically, the partners are there are some industrial partners: Atos, Thales, Excel, CS Group, Primoco, Hypersfera, Trasina, INI, and F6X. There are some research organizations like INNOV, Vortex, and ISEC. And we have also some end users, basically the Portuguese Navy, the Romanian Border Patrol, the Spanish Customs Service, and the UK Border Force. Next slide, please. Okay, regarding the objectives of the project, those are basically enhance cross-border and cross-sectorial cooperation through improved information sharing, also improve integration environment, connecting heterogeneous assets and tools, also provide reduced reaction and response times, facilitating the interaction among a wide variety of stakeholders, contribute to the elaboration of policy recommendations on maritime surveillance systems, and to enhance the co-creation between end users. Next slide, please. Thank you. The main technical pillars of the project are the employment and indirect tasking of multiple types of long endurance unmanned assets. There are type of some aerial unmanned vehicles and some water surface vehicles with advanced sensors and payload capabilities. Also, the exploitation of the heterogeneous data sources, including Copernicus services, the use of artificial intelligence and big data analysis for optimal decision making and successful mission execution, and the interoperability within the ecosystem and interfacing with existing key external systems. Next slide, please. Okay, this is about the capabilities and improvements that the project is trying to perform, to achieve. Basically, on the capabilities for the persistent and multiple pulse monitoring and response through the use of UAVs and USVs. There is the combination of unmanned assets in a cooperative way by making use of different payloads for high accuracy and heterogeneity of collected data. Improvements in unmanned assets like the integration of additional payloads such as software defined radio based sensors for the augmented SIGINT, signals intelligence stands for, capabilities in UAVs, and infrared camera to enable in nocturnal operation in USVs. All those payloads, which are basically improvements to existing ones in the corresponding USVs, will be combined with the innovative payloads already used by the USVs providers. Also, there is development of algorithms for onboard processing of data from payloads, the improvements in the aviation performance of some of the UAVs models. Also, with the use of EGNOS, the European Geostationary Navigation Overlay Service, and endurance increase and decrease of acoustic signatures through the improvement of current power systems. So basically, it's basically not only use of the UAVs and UXVs, but also the improvements in the current systems. Regarding the next generation of common operational systems for maritime scenarios, so the improvements are in the evolution of our existing C4I platform to create a common operational picture using all types of assets, including additional models for planning, execution, and post-mission phases, achieve better detection, classification, and tracking capabilities through the employment of a novel and comprehensive suite of data fusion services based on AI and big data analytics. The fusion services will support the extraction of high quality and actionable information by correcting and fusing heterogeneous data from existing maritime surveillance sources combined with the use of unmanned assets as well as open source information, with a great focus on the Copernicus satellite data for building novel services to allow a proper exploitation of this data for maritime surveillance applications. And last, let's say capability and improvements related. No, please, the previous slide. About the systems ready for deployment at maritime operation centers for real life maritime surveillance operations leveraging on human assets. So the improvements are an open network orchestration platform that will be configured and deployed to manage the entire operation of all assets, infrastructure, and software layers to achieve an interoperable environment for the multiple integrations, for instance. And in addition, for a successful demonstration of the new operational concepts, I-SEAMORE will evolve existing modeling and simulation capabilities developed in past surveillance projects to support the forensic activities, acting as a, let's say, digital twin of the I-SEAMORE ecosystem. And ultimately, the deployment of the ecosystem at the Portuguese Navy's Operational Experimentation Center that will contribute to increase its overall maturity and allow for continuous integration and testing of the system, technology and solutions, following the co-creation design processes developed within the project. So the current slide is about the grid operational scenarios. So basically, I-SEAMORE provides increased situational awareness and operational capabilities like maritime surveillance with wide maritime border and coastal areas monitoring, analysis of potential threats, detection of legal activities, and search and rescue support. So specifically during the course of the project, there are two use case scenarios that are developed. The first one is the drugs smuggling use case, and the second one is the regular migration. In addition to this, other operational scenarios where it can be applied are goods smuggling, piracy, terrorist attacks, illegal and unreported fishing, maritime accidents, and oil spills. So you see that we kind of complement and overlay the PROMENADE project that was presented before. So that's it from my side, and thank you.
Moment. Thank you very much. I know. Thank you very much for the presentation and all your work. Let's continue with, this time with the correct name and the correct person, FLEXI-CROSS and Giuseppe Vella. But thank you very much, Ricard.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Giuseppe Vella from engineering. I'm the project coordinator for the FLEXI-CROSS project. We can go to the next slide, avoiding outlines and so on, so that we can go directly to the project overview. The project is has passed this first year, so we started in the 1st of November 2022, and we are now at month 14, essentially, of the project, and we'll end in the 31st of August 2025. It's a project funded by the cluster 3, so for the call BM0103, for the topic BM0103. And essentially, we started from some challenges that are in the context of the crossing borders from third country nationals, and in the end for monitoring, essentially in the border, so to give border checking solutions in real-time environment to border guards and to facilitate and to seamless integration of tools that will allow the border checking through also biometric techniques, apart from the other techniques that we will explain. On the left, we have the challenges that we have taken in charge related to the freight and passenger transport that is always increasing, and this has created a great flow of goods and people that need to be checked, and the process need to be speed up. Then we have also some unpleasant phenomena like human trafficking or irregular crossing or smuggling that in the end have always increased towards in the middle of this big flow of goods and people that are crossing borders, as we said. Then we have also some other measures that are related to the entry-exit system implementation that we have seen also this morning, plus some modifications that have been done to the Schengen Border Code. And in addition to the smart borders package that has been put in place that we will take into consideration, especially for what concerns the entry-exit system and the ETIAS system to essentially create faster crossing of people along the borders, essentially. And then technologies like the automated border control or other systems like for what concerns the biometric authentication of people crossing borders, or some other automatic borderline surveillance tools, to deliver essentially tools like the passenger name record according to the passenger name record directive that will allow, of course, to have more information of people that are along borders. For all these challenges, we will deliver a toolkit, a FLEXI-CROSS toolkit that will allow essentially to have a flexible, dynamic, and more effective procedures when it comes to border checks, essentially by using technologies like 5G, Internet of Things, or algorithms applied to the image analysis of when it comes, for example, from images coming from drones that we will see also in the slides related to the pilots, and also big data and predictive analytics for what concerns essentially the risk assessment and also the prediction of unusual pattern that could raise some alerts for border guards. The idea is to create everything in mobility. This means that this will allow also to the border guards to have these solutions always with them and to be a portable solution that, thanks to the advanced biometrics checks, essentially will have the possibility to increase security and anti-trafficking protection thanks to the analysis conducted with the AI algorithms that will be applied during the project. And of course, this will also conclude all the process with, as we said, dynamic and ad hoc deployment of checkpoints that will apply all the techniques developed in the project. We can go to the next slide. The consortium is done by 12 partners. As you can see, we have Italy, Greece, we have Romania, Moldova, and Germany. We have 12 partners, the big company that is engineering. Then we have essentially two research organizations that are CHEMEA and ICCS. Then we have also 4 innovative SME that are EVOS, BEA, Hololite, and WINGS. And then we have also 5 end users that are Romanian Border Police, Moldovan Border Police, Hellenic Police. This is VR for what concerns the network on the train network, transport train network. And then also we have the ATG that is an incubator for SME that will drive, also will conduct all the analysis and all the requirements elicitation together with the end users, especially with Romanian and Moldovan end users. Next slide, please. Here we have the implementation objective that goes essentially from the design to the adoption of the tool. I will not go because if you will share the slide, we will see all the information that are clearly written to give an idea of which are the approach that we are using for designing and develop these mobile solutions that we will deploy across borders, essentially with a special care for the border guards, as I said also this morning, just because what we intend to do is to create procedures that are digitalized and that will bring a lot of benefits to border guards that are involved in the project. We will increase security, reliability, and privacy during the border crossing checks by adopting the privacy by design approach and also by applying all the ethics requirements to the technical work packages. We will test all these technologies and the whole FLEXI toolkit in the 3 pilots that we'll see in the next slide, and we will validate essentially the FLEXI-CROSS solution across the borders. Just the first, the previous for one thing, by showcasing essentially all the user stories that will be composed by several steps that are described into scenarios for identifying which is the user journey across the borders for the 3 different contexts. Next slide. What we will test more in detail in terms of, as we can see from the left, the legend of the technology that will be applied in the project. That will be applied in the project, essentially with the portable face recognition, a fingerprint scanner, the risk assessment tools, the augmented reality situation awareness tool that will allow also the operator to have a real-time situation from the sensors that are installed on the field, onboard sensors unit for what concerns especially for the vehicle scenario, remote video from cameras that are installed or fixed or are installed on drones and UAV, the tethered UAV, essentially X-ray scanning, acoustic sensing, and also technology for the blockchain as a technology for verifying the transaction that will happen on the FLEXI-CROSS platform. The 3 scenarios are mainly related to Romania and Moldova borders. The Romanian, for what concerns especially the train scenario. Then we have also the Galati port that will involve mainly the Romanian border police. And then we will have also the Greek-Bulgarian platform that where we have, as the main end user, we have the Hellenic police that will test all the functionalities on the road, so with vehicles. The location are the Danube-based port of Galati in Romania, the Greek-Bulgarian borders at Ormenio, and then the Romanian-Moldovan rail crossing, essentially, that is near Giurgiulescu. Then we have also some security operational scenarios that we will apply for each scenario. That will be imposter detection, irregular border crossing, pattern extraction through camera speed, and smuggling incident. For what concerns the scenario in Romania. Then we have for the Greek-Bulgarian trial, we have a vehicle checking in terms of verification if there is any irregularity in the crossing or in the pattern that are discovered through the movement of the vehicle on the road, pattern extraction through camera feed, smuggling incident, and false document incident. For the Romanian and Moldovan rail crossing, we have mismatch of document, detection of cargo coming from pandemic disease, or detection of irregular migrants on board of the trains. Last but not least, we have all the progress that we have achieved so far. So we have identified in architecture 34 modules that we have designed according to a 4-layered architecture, starting from the data acquisition, processing, the service layer, and the HMI that will represent to the different situation awareness of the information to the end users. We have collected the user requirements and the use cases that we are now detailing better to have all the user journeys, as we said, that will allow to validate all the prototypes across the 3 different use cases. We have started and we have participated to several events with the dissemination activities and seminars with other synergies with other projects that we have also started to be part of these big families of the BES Cluster. We have also a preliminary exploitation plan with the key exploitable resources that have been identified, the related IPR and expected outcomes impact according to the different dimensions in terms of short, medium, and long-term impact, and then also the wider impact that is more related to social, technological, and economical impact. We have delivered almost all the ethics deliverable, as we said, that will also drive the development of some components in order to protect always the privacy of people using the FLEXI-CROSS toolkit. Of course, the project coordination management activities are ongoing. And then there is also the setup of an early integration server for the early integration that is at month 26. But considering that in these activities is missing also one internal technical workshop where we will test all the standalone components that we are developing for the project. I think this is slide. And this was the progress so far. Sorry, I forgot also to in the middle. I started talking, and this was the last slide related to the results of the project.
No problem. Thank you very much for sharing all this information with us. We are very happy that you are a very new member and that you have still plenty of months ahead of you. And it is a promise to continue to support you and to continue the discussions on the future of the BES cluster, as we have also been discussing with all the new members. Thank you very much, Giuseppe. Now, finally, the final live member of the cluster, who is participating here physically, Mirella, regarding the NESTOR project. I will be very kind and polite to ask you to have a presentation of 5 minutes, so that then we can simply present. I'm not really sure that this is possible, but congrats again. Then to simply present, okay, the mural board that we have created, to let our participants know that we have been working on this for quite some time, and that we are going to share with them the results of that mural, yes, and maybe even ask them, since they have received information about these projects, to let us know which of these components could be used. But first, let's proceed with the presentation of NESTOR. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Hi again. I'm Mirella Rosgova. I represent KEMEA, which is, I think, a very active organization of this BES cluster with many participations in several border management projects. I will very briefly present you NESTOR. NESTOR was officially closed during this April. Some facts about the project. It lasted 18 months. It had a consortium of 21 partners from 12 countries. We had demonstration in 3 different countries in Europe, in external border, in our external borders, in Greece, in Lithuania, and in Cyprus. The EU contribution was about 5 million, and it was an Horizon project. Then, regarding the consortium, the project coordinator was Hellenic Police. We had 6 end users, 3 large companies, 7 SMEs, and 5 research and technology entities. Now, regarding the overall concept, as you may see, NESTOR tried to demonstrate and achieve that a fully functional and next-generation holistic border surveillance system, which was able to provide, and is able to provide pre-frontier situational awareness, both inland and maritime borders, always in line with the border, very capable to detect, assess, and efficiently respond in any illegal activity that may occur in these borders. And it was always in line with European integrated border management. Next slide. Just to briefly present you all this, our approach, as in many border management pilots, was user-driven. We had 2 prototypes. The first one was tested in Lithuania and in Cyprus. Then all the validation results that we had received from the end users were very helpful and contributed to the last and final platform, which was tested and validated in our borders in Greece with Turkey. This was a very large pilot which lasted 2 weeks. It had 3, let's say, sub-pilots in 3 different areas, both land and maritime, in Evros River, in Oristiada area, and in Samothraki Island, which was for the first time used in a European project. Next slide, please. Some examples of the exploitable assets which were contributed to the platform. They are not only them, they are some of them, some with very serious contribution to this platform was, of course, the Engage Integrated Border Management Edition, which was a continuation of Andromeda project, which we had the original, let's say, border management edition of this Engage, which can give to all the operational centers a live streaming of what is going on in the borders. We had the multimodal fusion service, the path planner, the visual object detection, and of course the social media data crawling and analysis. All these assets were able to give from multiple sensors live streaming and data to the end users. And this is what was the final validation, let's say, in order to assess that the platform was very successful and the project overall. Next slide. This is just the timeline that we followed from the very beginning of the project. As I mentioned, it was a very short-scale project with 18 months and 3 pilots. The first demonstration, which took place in Lithuanian borders, was on month 11. The second one was also only maritime trial in Cyprus on month 13, and the large-scale scenario, both land and maritime, took place during month 17, 1 month before the closure of the project, in the Evros region, which is the northeastern border of Greece and Europe, of course. Okay, this is some more details of the trials. I won't get in further details. Of course, I'm here, and then I will show you and all the projects, let's say, conduct details, where you can refer to us for whatever you want. This is, as I mentioned before, the three piloted large scale in Evros region. And now the info, let's say, as I mentioned before, from October, we started all the preparation for the Lithuanian maritime trial. Then we had the integration and configuration of all these assets that were involved and the final testing. And the demonstration took place during the last of November last year. And this year, we had the pilot in Cyprus, in the Larnaca area, with the partner at JRCC, the Joint Research Center. That took place at the first week of February. And then, of course, the large-scale Greek-Bulgarian land and maritime trial. We had started all the preparations from the mid-September of 2022. Not even 1 year after the project started, we had to integrate all the assets, all the sensors, in the platform of NESTOR. We managed to do that, and the final demonstration took place during the 2 middle weeks of March. Okay, just some words, some tips, let's say, about the final system evaluation, which was based, of course, on the trials. We collected all the feedback reports from all the partners. During the last trial, of course, the Greek one, it was open. We had invited LEAs from all over Europe, and this is why we had, let's say, an enough wide results process to be done. We had this validation, the conclusion, the final evaluation, of course, which was based on not only from an operational perspective, but also on economical points of view and financial perspective, the lessons learned, and finally the feedback and recommendation we had for the continuation, let's say, not only for this project, but all these border management-oriented projects. The impact achieved, as we had mentioned from the proposal stage, we were very happy to achieve that, the enhanced situational awareness and pre-frontier intelligence, and improved operational image, which was with expanded detection capabilities, decision-making procedure that was an initiative of NESTOR, and the reaction for all the operators, which had, let's say, a very clear image of what was happening before the borders. We had considered all the cost savings and the performance improvement of the NESTOR solution. And of course, it was something that contributed to the creation of a reliable and enhanced surveillance and border security interoperability framework, which can be used in the SIS environment in order to help for exchanging data and services among all the border authorities. I think that's from my side. I hope I didn't have much of your time. Thank you very much.
I think I have to thank all the participating BES Cluster members for their amazing, great presentations. But an even bigger thank you has to go to Mirella from Kemea, because she has managed to present everything in like 5 minutes without missing any single point. Thank you very much. The ones that we push in terms of times are the ones that we collaborate the most. So sorry and thank you. And that is also something that we should take into account about BES Cluster, that the fact that for sure projects will come with these participating entities, because they are experts in the field and they are exploiting their resources and their results and their products and their services for future collaboration and opportunities. Now, the idea was to present you today something that we have been working for quite some time with, give me a moment, with the members of the BES Cluster, which is actually a mural. No, it's actually a whole procedure which has been, in a way, created, listed as a game under a mural board for you and us to, in a way, somehow, let's say, co-create, pretty much to see how the different components developed by some of the BES Cluster members could be either exploited by the other projects. So, for example, the results of METICOS and, for example, the social sensing toolkit, and how it could be or not incorporated under and in NESTOR or FLEXI-CROSS, I-SEAMORE, PROMENADE, and such. And the very same activity / situation on the very opposite. We have already done this exercise, and due to severe time limitations, we are not going to perform it as it was planned. However, what we can for sure do is the following. As we have said at the very beginning, we are going to provide you with the full set of what has taken place here today. And you will also receive the mural board, the presentations of the BES Cluster members, as well as what we have resulted regarding this board. So the different components and which components could be exploited by other projects, or how components in general from these participating projects could be used together even beyond the current projects. However, I thought that it would be quite interesting if we could also provide you, just in case you're interested to do it, the opportunity to let us know what you think, because you have already received information about the projects. You will also receive it via an email. So it would be a great thing for you and for us to be able and see how and what you think about the components of METICOS, for example, for the social sensing toolkit, and how it could be used for METICOS, for NESTOR, of course, for FLEXI-CROSS, or for any other third entity and project. This will be quite helpful for us, of course, but it will also be something quite positive, because this way we will be very happy and we will realize that you have indeed followed our presentations, that you are aware of what we are doing and trying to do, and maybe even give us a completely new perspective and point of view. That would be it for the cluster event. Thank you, a great thank you to all, especially to the ones participating online, because I believe that online participation is much harder than the physical one. And I don't think that you have any questions, of course, and you have one. So maybe we can accept this one question, and then we can proceed with the closing. And the microphone to our project officer. Of course, I was kidding with you, of course.
I see you're mentioning components. Have you also, with the cluster, identified bottlenecks, common bottlenecks? For example, I see a lot of the projects working with CISA. Quite a few of them had problems connecting to CISA, picking up data. Bottlenecks like this could have come together into a, let's say, a number of issues identified commonly by the different projects. So you can perhaps send a message to me or through me or to the project officers of the different projects towards the right stakeholders to try and address some of these issues that you identify. So not only the positive opportunities, but sorting out problems. Have you looked into that?
That's a great question indeed, and thank you very much for making it. Because this is something that we're also doing as VL Labs for other projects. So together with the sister projects and other consortia, we're trying to identify issues and then contact the policy officers. For the BES Cluster and the members of the BES Cluster, we have identified all these years and during the last month that we have been working upon that, indeed opportunities as well as difficulties. The thing is that we haven't really communicated these difficulties with you. So this was something that we have to do, or even maybe include them somehow as opportunities, because even the obstacles are opportunities for the future in the upcoming public deliverable reports or blogs or whatever, I mean, any public document. But thank you very much for the question. We have indeed a long list of opportunities, challenges, barriers, obstacles, mistakes that we have made. So it would be a great idea indeed to communicate this to you and to maybe even receive feedback and input. Sule, please, actually, yeah, we have, we will not have to do it. We will not proceed with this. We have coordinated with the partners in order to initiate it on behalf of METICOS so that we could present you how the different components of METICOS could be incorporated in the other projects. However, we will not do it due to lack of time, but thank you very much for remembering it for the will. I believe that you don't have any other questions, which is great. So we are coming to the very end of the final conference. It has been a long but very fruitful day, I think. We had the opportunity to discuss with you here during the panel sessions, during the breaks, to exchange information, to organize meetings for the upcoming period, as well as to solve some issues which are sometimes are not really possible to solve online. I will not proceed with saying thank you. I will not proceed with saying all the different things that we will do for providing you and forwarding the information. I will call Danai Kirkou and Aneta Kaboridou, the ones that have really organized this event, not myself who had just opened it, in order for you to say a huge thank you and to close it as appropriate.
So yes, we came to the end of this event. Thank you all very much for coming, for having this exchange of ideas, of perspectives with the panels, as well as our consortium for presenting what we have done in METICOS so far. We want to really share with you also the impact that we had, the results that we had. So as long as you're interested about the project, we can stay in touch and help you and give you more information about everything that has been done. Also, the BES Cluster, of course, will be something ongoing with new projects. As you saw in this presentation, we had some of the projects that are quite young, I would say. So they have a future ahead of them to work together. And it was a very tiring period organizing this event. So we are very happy to see that it was I hope for you, also, it was a success. Before giving you the speech, the mic, one comment: please take with you your gift bags. They are very heavy to carry them back to Greece. Just saying. So,
So I will also thank you from my side for being here and all these fruitful discussions we had today and for this interaction. And it was very nice to meet you all in person. And thank you again.